Hey everybody, welcome to a new episode of Nerd Overload, the pop and geek culture show that has spurs that jingle, jangle, jangle. And a big iron on its hip.
I like it. Very good.
I'm Cody, and patrolling the Mojave makes you wish for a nuclear winter.
And giddy up, I'm Sam. Once again, Josh is on assignment here this week. And also, again, before we get into our check 'em outs, we're going to play a little game.
I forgot about this.
You forgot about the game? Well, it's brand new, and it's called Where in the World is Josh Harrison?
Where in the world is
Josh Harrison? All right, so I think I have one for you. I didn't write it down, so it's going to take me just a second to think of it. You know what? I got it. So yeah, Josh got a hold of me the other day, and he tells me that where he is, he was able to do so many different things, like race around icy mountains. He was able to catch some live music out by the beach, out by the sand, and he said he felt 10 feet tall when he was exploring the deserts.
Oh no. Is he in Fortnite?
He's not in Fortnite. He also told me that while he's having a great time with his trip, it is starting to get a little repetitive.
Oh. Give me another. You got another hit?
I do. I honestly wasn't planning on going to a third one. I thought you'd get it by now. But, some things did catch his eye like a big pizza pie while he was on this trip. Well, do you give?
I give.
Okay, he is in Termina, the land of Legends of Zelda Majora's Mask.
Oh, that's the giants and okay,
the giant in the desert.
Yeah,
the Zora band on the beach.
Yeah,
these Goron racing. When the moon hits your eye like a big pizza pie.
I should have got that.
Yeah, repetitive. Yes.
This is Jeff Keighley's fault.
This is absolutely Jeff Keighley's fault, but this has also been Where in the World is Josh Harrison?
Where in the world is
Josh Harrison?
Which I did just mention Summer Games Fest. We just watched that, so we'll be covering it later. We will be talking about
that later in the show if we can remember what was on it.
Yeah.
So first, let's talk about the things we have been checking out.
Check it out!
If we get enough bit theme songs, the whole show could just be the theme songs to bits.
You know what? Yeah, just an hour of bits. I'm hoping one day we can do a Where in the World is Josh and a mailbag so we can put all four of the songs that we have.
just back to back.
Just loop them. Yeah, that's it.
No, you should just play mailbag anyway.
Okay, we'll do it.
Mailbag day, mailbag day. Hey everybody, it's mailbag day.
But it's not mailbag day.
Yeah, we don't have any mail, but...
We don't, but...
we'll
it's
play all the songs.
Yeah, we'll just play all the songs. Why not?
You'll hear the news one later.
Yeah. So, Cody, what have you been checking out this week?
Oh, stuff and things.
Good answer.
I watched the new Star Wars show, The Acolyte.
Oh, yeah.
It's still too early to call.
Okay.
But it seems pretty good. The fights are very well choreographed and exciting. The story isn't terribly interesting. It's kind of... it takes the most obvious paths most of the time.
Oh, I see.
Like, in the first episode, you see someone who looks exactly like our main character kill a Jedi, and then we go back to her, and the Jedi are hunting her down, and she doesn't know why she didn't kill this Jedi, as far as she knows. So why are they hunting her down? And you think, well, maybe it could be something cool, like maybe someone's manipulating her using the Force. Maybe she has a different personality that she doesn't know about, like a Moon Knight thing.
Evil Dark Twin?
That's what it is.
Oh, that's lame.
Yeah.
That's like the least common denominator of answer, I guess.
It's a soap opera twist.
Yeah.
She has a twin that she thought was dead, but is actually alive and is evil and is killing Jedi.
That is not good.
No, it's
That's
not.
data and lore.
Yeah.
Okay.
But like everything around it is good and very Star Warsy, and they're not relying on showing you things you've seen in other movies because it takes place in the High Republic period, which is like 100 years before the Empire is even a thing.
Okay.
So at least in that regard, it's trying something original and not just being what the Mandalorian kind of is.
Yeah, let's pick a character from the Star Wars universe and just follow them.
Yeah.
Like the last handful have been, like Book of Boba Fett, Ahsoka,
Obi-Wan.
Yeah. Like, okay, what minor Star Wars character do you think they should follow for their next show?
Salacious Crumb show.
Yeah, Babu Frink.
Babu Frick.
Yeah.
Now, if Samantha was here, she would be all about them making a Babu Frick show. That's her favorite
That's her
Star Wars
favorite.
creature.
Yeah. Oh man, what if they made a Cheers style show featuring what's his name? Obi-Wan's friend from Coruscant, the one that owns a diner.
Oh yeah, I thought you were gonna say in the cantina.
Oh, that would have been good too.
That'd be a good show, actually. Just what happens in the cantina.
Yeah. Someone would walk in and they all yell, "Blorb!"
Yeah.
Space Cheers. I like it. Get Woody Harrelson in there. Put some prosthetics on his face.
Yeah.
You're good. Oh, he was already in Star Wars too. He could be in it. He was in Solo. He was the guy that taught Solo how to solo.
Oh, that's the only Star Wars movie I haven't seen.
Yeah, don't.
Other than Clone Wars. I haven't seen the Clone Wars movie
Clone
either.
Wars is fine.
The animated Clone Wars.
Yeah. Don't watch Solo.
Okay, I won't.
It's very bad.
I've gone this long without seeing it, and I can continue.
You are missing nothing. I take that back. You are missing things that ruin Han Solo.
Okay, then I definitely don't need.
Why is his last name Solo? It's because he's an orphan who doesn't have a name. And when he was signing up to be in the Imperial Army, they needed a first and last name, and he goes, "I don't have a last name." So they just go, "You're by yourself. Solo."
That sucks.
Yeah. It's like everything that you love about Han Solo, they make it bad. Do you know there's the history of his blaster? His blaster from the Star Wars?
Why can't he have just bought a gun at some point?
No, it has a strong history. Did you know that the Millennium Falcon has a droid AI memory implanted into it against her will and has been
Gross.
there forever?
And then they just don't use it after that?
And she was a sassy robot who made very obvious sexual passes at Lando Calrissian.
Oh.
Yeah. But she was plugged into the Millennium Falcon's memory banks, and because in the original trilogy, at one point R2-D2 plugs into the Millennium Falcon, and they say, "Boy, this ship has a very interesting vernacular," or whatever. It's because there's a sassy robot brain inside it.
But it's kind of, were they doing a danger boat thing?
Yeah, kinda. Yeah. Do you want to see the Kessel Run?
No.
Guess what? It's lamer than you think.
Do you think the movie would have been good if they let Lord and Miller make the whole thing?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. You can very much feel the rewrites and the reshoots. It is very clean cut what was redone and what wasn't.
It's another movie. I would love to see the alternate universe where the Lord and Miller solo got made, just like I'd love to see the Edgar Wright Ant-Man.
Yeah, same here. Did you know that the Solo movie ends with Han sitting in the cantina with his, leg up, like they find him at the beginning of A New Hope? Did you know?
It's just like everything that is wrong with Star Wars stuff, like new Star Wars stuff rolled up into one film.
Did you know that he met Chewbacca because he was captured and thrown into a pit with a wild animal to be eaten, and that wild animal was Chewbacca, and he saved him from a pit? So that's why there is a life debt.
It doesn't.
Life debt, Cody.
Wookiees have been shown as being like regular people.
Well, to be fair, the people who captured them assumed he was a mindless beast, and that's why they threw him in a pit. But
That still stinks.
it still sucks. It sucks a whole bunch. And also, post-credit sequence, Darth Maul with robot legs. It's Darth Maul with robot legs
that's
who
been
speaks, and his voice is not Peter Serafinowicz. It's actually Ray Park, a significantly less talented voice actor. Great stunt actor. He doesn't do any stunts. He just walks on screen with robot legs and says something you can't understand in his broken Cockney.
Does that timeline match up?
Hey, who cares?
Who cares?
Who cares? It's Solo. Everything you wanted to know about Solo, you get to know about Solo. Plus, it has the line, I'm a flyer, I'm a driver, I can do all sorts of things. You need to hire me for a gig, Woody Harrelson. And also give me your gun. It has very sentimental value to you. Star Wars, man. I'm glad the shows are doing well.
This one seems like maybe it'll get a lot better. It's starting from a kind of middle area and will maybe get better. A lot of the actors on it are really good. The Squid Game guy is a Jedi who's a cool Jedi.
Okay.
And their robes look extremely 70s sci-fi, which is appropriate.
Yeah, I'm into that at least. Yeah, if it's kind of like a period piece Star Wars kind of thing, then yeah, that's cool.
I mean, it definitely has its good quality. The good qualities outweigh the bad, but it's not perfect.
Gotcha. Nope. Okay, I get it. Well, do you have anything else while I stall for time thinking of what I did this week?
I mean, I've been playing Fallouts. I played all the way through 4 and finished it. I'd never actually finished it before.
Oh, cool.
It kind of goes out like a wet fart, like you would expect a Bethesda game to kind of do.
Sure.
I mean, I went the Brotherhood of Steel route, which like isn't what I would have chosen, but there really wasn't anything else that was interesting.
You didn't go the Final Pam route?
What's that one?
That's the... I'm making a reference to Monster Factory.
I remember that.
No, they were just screwing around. I was making a haha joke.
Well, you have like you could go with the Minutemen, who are the good guys who believe in good and hope and nothing tangible or interesting. So I'm not gonna pick that because it's boring.
Yeah.
And then the Railroad, which I should have went with, which are like, it's like the Underground Railroad, but for robots, and it's like a really ham-fisted kind of gross metaphor for race that isn't handled particularly well or done in a way that like
adds to it or anything
that says anything about anything.
Yeah. Okay.
And then you have the Brotherhood of Steel, which at least they have like robot suit guys. They like technology, but at least they have like a goal that's tangible.
Yeah.
So I went with him, and then they just blow up you could go with the Institute too, which are just a bunch of jerk scientists who think they know better than everybody else on the surface.
Okay, I think in the Monster Factory they went with the one where you try to find your ghost son.
Well, yeah, you do that, and then after that you make your choice because.
Gotcha. I don't think they got to that point. They just started using hacks and broke the game after that.
Because it turns out that your son you're looking for is actually much older than you thought. You were in cryo for longer than you'd anticipated.
Gotcha.
And he's the head of the Institute, which is the jerk scientists who think they know what's better for everybody above the surface.
I see. Okay, cool.
But I went with the Brotherhood of Steel, and then they built the big robot from Fallout 3 again. Because everybody loved the big robot
because everybody loved Big Robot.
So we'll bring the big robot around again.
Sure.
And he comes in and he blows up the thing, and then you go down there and you can kill your son. I don't know. He's already dying of a disease for some reason when you get down there, and I'm like, well, bye. And then at the end, they try to trip you up with like a robot version of your son as a child. And he's like, take me with you, Dad. I was like, no, you're a robot. I said, you stay down here. I left him there.
Oh, geez. Yeah.
Because the game wouldn't let you shoot him because you can't shoot children.
I mean, fair. I mean, I get it.
Even though he's not a child, he's a synthetic humanoid.
Still, I mean, it's close enough. Like, the visual is there.
But like it's a good thought, like to play with the player's emotions like this, but it doesn't work. It just doesn't. It's a good idea, Todd, but you're just not earning it.
Yeah.
It wasn't earned.
It wasn't earned. Gotcha.
The gameplay in Fallout 4 is good and the loop is fun, but it fails in every aspect story-wise. Just like things happen just because they think that's going to make the game more fun.
Gotcha.
Instead of it having any sort of narrative pull or through line or anything. It's just a series of events that happen because you shot a bad guy. Like it's not New Vegas, which I've also been playing, which actually
I've heard is really good.
Actually has like story and motivations for almost everyone.
Because that one wasn't done by Bethesda, right? It
Right.
was done by another
It
studio.
was done by
and
Obsidian.
It was Obsidian, yeah.
Like a lot of times in a Bethesda game, there are factions that are like, this is the bad guys and they're the bad ones, and you shoot them and you shouldn't feel bad about it because they're the bad guy. Even Starfield has like, there's just spacers that are bad guys, and those are the ones that you shoot, and don't worry about what their motivations are. They're all like on drugs or something. But New Vegas, every faction has like a plot or a reason why they're doing the things that they do, even if it is bad. So you have to make a conscious choice, like who you think you should shoot or not.
Right. Okay. Huh.
I don't know. I just wish Bethesda would like hire writers or let the writing
Let them do something interesting with it. Yeah.
Well, let the writing affect the game world instead of just letting the player run roughshod over the entire environment and be the coolest, biggest, strongest guy there.
Yeah.
Because it takes away all the player agents. Like, if every choice you make just ends up you being the best guy there, why even make a choice in the first place?
That makes sense. But, you know, some people who play video games like the power fantasy of being the big protagonist that does everything right.
Yeah. And then they have, like, they want you to be able to do everything. So it really doesn't matter what faction you choose because you'll never get locked out of anything ever.
Oh, that's...
Which makes your choices have even less narrative weight than they did before.
Why have a choice at all?
Yeah.
Yeah. Huh. Well, I did have kind of a check it out. I've started this thing. I haven't watched all of it, and only the first episode is out. So I've talked about the show Dark Side of the Ring for a while.
Yeah.
It's actually what kind of got me started on this deep dive of the wrestling and stuff. Well, they're doing a special mini-series called What Killed WCW. WCW in the mid-90s, early 2000s was the big competitor to WWF, WWE.
Ted Turner's wrestling show.
Ted Turner's wrestling show, because he loves that wrestling. And it was beating WWF for a short while.
They poached so many of their talents.
They
too,
really
like a ton.
did. And so as quickly as it flamed up, it died out just as quickly. And this miniseries is getting into what exactly happened from the beginnings going up and then the coming back down. So I've started it, and it's really kind of fascinating. Yeah, how the big thing that started it was Hulk Hogan going to WCW. He had left WWE,
becoming Hollywood Hogan.
He actually wasn't Hollywood Hogan yet when he first joined up. So what it was he left WWE, where everyone had were like giant cartoon characters. Everyone had professions, like Duke of the Dumpster Drosy, who was a garbage man. And
he throws trash all around the ring, and then he eats the trash.
He eats the trash. No, his gimmick was, I will hit you with the metal trash can. And you had the Repo Man, who was a repo man, and Erwin R. Shyster, the evil IRS agent, whose whole gimmick is everyone needs to pay their taxes. Sports people probably don't pay their taxes. I'm going to wrestle them, and then they'll pay their taxes. Yeah. So, And WCW was not that.
He was created when Vince McMahon got really mad about having to pay his taxes.
Oh, McMahon's politics are very not hidden.
Taxes.
That's very well. That's not subtle. No, he puts what he believes right out there. But WCW initially wasn't that. It was like Southern old school style wrestling where you had personalities instead of characters. And Hulk Hogan came in after his failed TV and film career and had
Spaghetti Restaurant.
And Spaghetti Restaurant, yes. Yes, that's right.
Pasta Mania.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, what you gonna do when Pasta Mania runs all over you?
I'm gonna eat that pasta.
Brother. But he came in and decided, and he had creative control over his own everything he did. So they couldn't make him do anything he didn't want to do, which is a problem.
Yeah.
And he decided that initially WCW needed to be like Saturday morning cartoons. So all of a sudden you get the Dungeon of Doom with characters like Zodiac and gosh, I don't even the Laughing Man. Gosh, I cannot remember what his character name was, but his subtitle was the Laughing Man. It was basically a super villain super team versus Hulk Hogan and his merry band of misfits. And eventually they started poaching more people. And that's where the Attitude Era kind of came in with the NWO, and everybody who was a villain always won no matter what. And the new guys never got to win ever. So while they were promoting really popular characters and wrestlers that everyone knows, they were not cultivating the next round. And that led to a lot of problems. So I'm very interested in seeing where the show goes. They're interviewing a lot of folks that were really right there. Eric Bischoff, who was basically was given the reins. He was like head creative officer of WCW, and they're talking to Kevin Nash, who was formerly known as Diesel, aka that which makes a Mack truck go. When they were introducing him in WWF, Shawn Michaels got lost in his promo introducing Diesel, and he goes, "My new bodyguard Diesel, as in that which makes a Mack truck go." So, yeah. But they talked to a lot of people except for Hulk Hogan for good reason.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, that's kind of what I've been checking out. I'm only a few little bit into it, but you know.
The new season of Smiling Friends has been really good.
I've been seeing a lot of things about Smiling Friends.
It's a killer show. It's really good and really funny. I think it's primed to be the new Rick and Morty, which is a dangerous prospect.
Yes. Yes. I've been seeing a groundswell of Smiling Friends stuff very similar to that first and second season of Rick and Morty. But I haven't seen the people going, "I am so smart. If you don't watch Rick and Morty, you are not smart."
That's true.
Yet. And that was the biggest problem with Rick and Morty. Well, other than,
Roiland. And I think Smiling Friends isn't as nihilist, and it's not as negative. It doesn't have such a negative outlook on everything. Yeah. Which is refreshing.
Mm-hmm. I mean, yeah, Rick and Morty is incredibly nihilist and very kind of defeatist and like, well, this is just how things are. Just deal with it. Yeah. Everything sucks.
Smiling Friends is sillier too. Mm-hmm. And it has this like weird mixed media approach to it too, where it, like
there's like a CGI guy in it. It's a traditional 2D animation.
Yeah, they've done CGI. There was a stop motion bit, which I think was just CGI done to look like stop motion.
But still,
they'll throw anything in there if it's funny, and try different looks and stuff.
And they bring a lot of voice folks from YouTube.
Yeah, and just the internet in general. Like the first episode
was Mike Stoklasa from Red Letter Media.
Yeah, and the AVGN is there too.
I was going to say AVGN was on an episode.
One of the recent new ones had the Nostalgia Critic. Which,
oh no!
Yeah, It's kind of a shame that they paid him to do anything.
Well, that's a bummer.
but it was very funny
okay. Well, that's good at least.
because they're looking on the internet to find a way to exorcise a succubus.
Okay.
And he shows up as a demon hunter who exorcises the demons so you don't have to. And it's just him in with a dumb hat on and like ghost face makeup.
Okay. Okay. Well, yeah, I will have to check out some Smiling Friends. I did watch that first episode when it released, and it was all right. It was all right, but yeah, I'll have to check out more of it. All right, so let's go ahead and take a break here, and when we come back, we will get into some news.
Welcome aboard Long Play Flight 3502. Destination great music with a connecting flight to lifelong memories. I'm Greg Dunham, and I will be your pilot on this flight to musical wonderment, departing at 11 o'clock on Friday night with a return flight scheduled for 3 o'clock Saturday afternoon. We know you have a lot of choices when it comes to radio stations. We're glad you chose WZMO.
And we're back! Welcome back to the show. Thank you all for sticking around with us. Let's go ahead and get into some news. And that was jingle number 4.
That's it. You've heard all 4 of them.
I guess technically there's 5 because of the intro music.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, technically. We're a musical show this week. Yeah,
Thanks,
man.
David Pencil, for that intro and outro.
Yeah, very good. Thank you. So, yeah, let's talk about some things. I know Summer Games Fest is the big one, but I think we're going to go ahead and hit some of the other news first and then rounding it out with Summer Games Fest.
Hold off your excitement for all of the cool news from Summer Games Fest.
For Geoffy K's Game Awards 2 Summer Boogaloo. But first, there's a couple of trailers for things, and I kind of want to jump into the first one here, Venom, Till Death Do Us Part.
Venom, gon' get him, Venom.
Yeah. You know what? Eminem did a rap for the first 2, so he's probably going to do a rap for this one as well.
Dude loves Venom, apparently.
That's great. Hey, why not?
I saw a Twitter thread the other day. Apparently, he also wanted to be a comic artist if the whole rap thing didn't work out.
Really?
And I saw some art that he did, and it wasn't bad.
Oh, that's cool.
It was as good as anything that McFarlane would have put out back around the same time.
Okay, yeah, that actually kind of tracks a little bit. I guess it makes sense why he dressed up like Batman and Robin in so many other superhero types in a lot of his music videos. But no, the new Venom 3 trailer. So it seems like they're wrapping up the trilogy with this one. It looks great. I love the Venom movies.
They are great movies in spite of, they somehow managed to be great movies in spite of Sony.
Sony, yeah, yeah. It's
the second one was okay.
Yeah, well, it was fine, but it was still pretty good for what it was. I think it's they're a real throwback, I guess, to the older style superhero movies like Spider-Man and the original X-Men, that sort of thing. Which works for Venom because he's a darker character that fits that darker tone they were trying to shoehorn like the X-Men into. Yeah, and it's also refreshing. And I know that the other Sony movies have also been just the one character from the comics, but the characters they've picked so far are bad and awful, and the actors are not good in them.
Yeah, guys, nobody would ask for a movie for. Nobody wanted Morbius.
People know Venom. I mean, most people who, even if you are only tangentially aware of comic books, know what evil black suit Spider-Man is. People don't know Morbius. People don't know Madam Web. I barely know Madam Web.
People don't want to know Madam Web, apparently, either.
The actress didn't want to know Madam Web. Did you know that they all thought that they were signing on to MCU movies?
Yeah, I knew at least Sydney Sweeney did.
So did, what's her name? Dakota Johnson.
They need to fire their agents immediately.
Immediately. But no, back to Venom. It's refreshing that this doesn't cross over with anything.
Yeah.
The Venom movies don't. And it's
It did technically, but as a joke, which is funny.
as a total joke. And it seems like this is starting right where that joke ending ended from the previous one. So yeah, it looks good. Looks really good. There's a Venom horse in it.
Yeah, you can't go wrong with the Venom horse.
Yeah, it seems like Eddie and Venom are even more of kind of a tag team. Still the buddy cop kind of thing, and I love that Tom
Hardy.
Tom, thank you. I was almost going to say Holland, and that's not right.
No, that's Spider-Man.
It's close, but not right.
The two Toms.
Two Toms.
The yin and yang of Toms.
Yes, my two Toms. No, but I like that he plays Eddie Brock as a complete schlub. Like
Yeah.
he's not a heroic guy. He's still incredibly scared and like nervous, and he always seems like he's just sweating
Yeah.
way too much.
He's a very sweaty guy.
Very disheveled, and I think that's great. I think it's again refreshing that someone is not put together and is also a superhero.
Like if you saw somebody on the street who thought there was an alien inside of them,
Yeah.
they would look like Eddie Brock.
yeah, exactly.
Except he actually does have an alien inside of him.
Yeah. And I think it's great that even though Venom, the symbiote, likes to act like he's big and bad, he is still as big of a dork and as big of a loser as Eddie Brock is.
Yeah.
He is like the reject of his alien race, kind of. And I think that's great. Two losers finding each other. It's a very fun, dynamic. So the next one is, I guess I'm having trouble understanding the thought process behind this one. It's a Pharrell
Williams biopic,
yeah,
but it's animated in Lego like the Lego movies
yeah,
for some reason.
yeah. I mean, I'm always glad to see more animation like the Lego movies, and it's of the high quality like the Lego movies.
Yeah,
It's
it
not,
looks good.
It's not like it's one of those direct to DVD looking things.
Yeah, it's not Clutch Powers or whatever.
Whatever that was. Yeah, the made for TV Star Wars Lego Christmas.
Yeah.
Yeah. With young boy Han Solo that Yoda meets, which is bad. No, it looks well done, and I mean the story seems interesting, but I guess I'm not sure why. I mean, listen, creativity can take all shapes and forms, and I mean maybe it's creativity for creativity's sake, and that's fine. But I guess until I actually see it, I'm not sure if biopic and fantasy Lego movie mesh well together. It's not exactly peanut butter and jelly for me.
Like creativity for creativity's sake is one thing, but like when your creativity is a multi-million-dollar toy brand crossover,
Yeah.
it kind of seems disingenuous.
Maybe disingenuous, but I just don't know. And again, we could watch this movie and it could be great. It really could be.
I hope it is. I like good movies.
Yeah, and the trailer's fine. There's nothing wrong with the trailer, but it just biopic and using Legos to depict real, actual people and not Lego properties or film properties or what have you, fictional things. Yeah. It doesn't feel right.
I'll tell you what it did do was make me want to own a Lego minifig of Snoop Dogg.
That was pretty great. both as Snoop Dogg and actual dog.
Yeah.
Because that was kind of fun. They are getting a lot of voices for it. It seems like every rapster that he can get that's available, that was part of his.
And Gwen Stefani
as his wife, voice of his wife or something.
Cool?
Yeah.
Remember when Gwen was cool?
She's still kind of cool.
She's on The Voice.
Yeah, I guess, but she's the cool one on The Voice.
She's married to Blake Shelton.
I still like Spiderwebs. That's a good song.
That's a great song.
Yeah.
Tragic Kingdom, fantastic album.
Absolutely. Yeah. But the other thing I will say, and maybe the film will do a better job with this, but I'm not entirely certain if Pharrell Williams has taken the adequate amount of acting courses to adequately portray himself in a realistic-ish fashion.
Or in a compelling way.
In a compelling way, yeah, because in the trailer, things are happening around the Pharrell Lego, and he's narrating it, but it very much sounds like he's reading it off a page. It doesn't sound natural,
Yeah.
I guess. And I mean, that's weird to say because he is doing a film about his own life, which is the most natural thing. But it just, his delivery is very stilted, I guess, is what I want to say, or just not quite at the professional level that you would think a big budget Lego movie would be
Yeah, for
at.
an hour and a half. Listening to it for an hour and a half.
Oh, it's not going to be an hour and a
You
half.
think it's going to go full 2 hours?
Movies these days, if they're not 2:15, it's almost not a real movie. I yearn for the days when movies were a solid 80 to 90 minutes.
A $1.25.
Yeah, a good $1.25. You know what? Give me a 70-minute movie. Give me an old Charles Band like cheapo movie that just barely makes the grade to be considered a film and not a short. But yeah,
90
movies these
minutes.
days, they all have to be 90 minutes is a
90
sweet spot.
minutes, yeah.
But yeah, movies these days, they got to be at least 2:15, if not 3.
If I'm looking at movies on a streaming service and I see one that looks even mildly interesting and it's only 90 minutes,
Gonna watch it.
I'm going to make that jump, yeah.
Yeah, because you can watch it and you don't have to devote your entire day to it.
Yeah, your evening isn't completely eaten up.
Listen, the Dune movies are fine, but I can't. It's very difficult for me to sit for 3+ hours because that's a quarter of the day.
Yeah, that's why I haven't watched Dune Part 2 yet. I just haven't made the commitment.
Yeah, same. All right, so what's the next thing on the list here?
Your Steam library, you can't bequeath that to your future generations in your will.
Yeah, that's weird. So Steam, for folks who don't know, is a online PC game store. Probably the biggest one out there.
Is.
Yeah. And just about every game that is worth getting is on Steam. In fact, one of your games has a Steam wish list.
I have two
both games are on
that
Steam
you can
wish
wish list on Steam.
Yeah.
You can wish list Believe on Steam, or you can wish list Mighty Mini Golf on Steam.
Yeah. It's a great service for a place to find, online games and stuff. And people have huge libraries of stuff because they run specials. They run sales.
Not as much as they used to.
But
you used
still-
to be able to get games for dirt cheap sometimes.
But the Steam summer sale, you can still get some
Good
you can
deals.
get
Yeah, some meaty deals.
Oh yeah.
And you end up growing a huge library of Steam games. I have a humongous library. I got games
I
in
do
there
too.
I've never played.
Same here.
I've got games in there I don't even know what they are.
You've gifted games to me that I have never touched. But apparently, if in the event that you pass, those games just disappear.
Yeah, you can't give them to your children, your friends. You can't will them. They just evaporate.
Yeah, and that's, I guess it kind of, I can see the reasoning behind it, but
if you look at the terms and conditions of just about any online store, it's the same thing too.
Yeah.
They're non-transferable.
Yeah, except for, what was the one?
GOG says if you give them a court order or some kind of
Like
way
if you
to
put it in your will?
Yeah. So if you have some way to prove that it's really you and you really died, they'll try and make it work for you, which is better than nothing.
Better than nothing, but still, I don't know. I can see both sides of it, I guess.
I want to take my Steam library with me when I die. That way I can actually get through all of it.
Well, you'll finally have time.
Yeah, there'll be time now. Netflix revealed images for 2 projects, a Minecraft show, and picture in your head what that image looks like.
And
that's what it is.
Yeah.
It's square. It looks like Minecraft, which fine.
Yeah,
I don't know.
that's
We're
fine.
not the mark for this.
We're not, and I still think, why Minecraft now?
Yeah.
They're doing the live action movie, they're doing the animated show,
They're about 4 years off. I mean, kids still play it.
The kids still play it.
Kids still love it, but it's not at its hottest point.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think it's just something that's going to be in the pop culture
Of like zeitgeist I guess.
forever.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's not the hot thing now.
No, it's really not. Fortnite's the hot thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you can't make a movie out. I mean, they'll try, but
There are enough original characters in Fortnite, and they can almost do a parody Ready Player One
true.
with the Fortnites.
The other one, which we're technically not marks for either, but I'd watch it. They're doing a Plankton movie, like SpongeBob's
Like
Plankton.
the villain from SpongeBob.
And he is far and away my favorite character on SpongeBob.
Yeah.
The guy that does his voice is hilarious. Like that voice he does,
Mr. Lawrence, right?
Yeah, it's Mr. Lawrence. That voice he does for Plankton, like, is one of the things that has a straight line into my funny bone for some reason.
He was also the first villain voice on the Aquabat Super Show. He was the voice of Mon Aunt.
And he's the narrator, too.
Yeah, that too.
But I'd watch this. I still...
I mean, it's coming straight to Netflix, so it's
Yeah.
not going to cost anything. Sure.
I still have a torch burning for SpongeBob SquarePants. I still think that's quality.
I could still get
entertainment.
some chuckles out of it.
I think if I even if I watched like a new episode, I wouldn't hate it.
Yeah. I like the episodic nature of it. I like that there's not a whole lot of lore built into it. I mean, there's some, but not like a terrible, huge amount.
And it's good artists do it, and it's full of funny drawings.
Yeah.
A lot of times, sometimes in a cartoon, all you want to see is a funny picture somebody drew.
Yeah.
And SpongeBob will deliver that.
And you know what? They sometimes do the John K's extreme zoom in without the baggage of it being a John K project.
Yeah.
Which is Ren and Stimpy. But
Do you think that Ren and Stimpy remake, or not remake, but like reboot, not even a reboot, but they're bringing it back. They're supposed to be bringing it back. Do you think it will ever see the light of day?
I think it will see the light of day. Do I think it will be good? No.
See, I think Paramount will write it off on their taxes. Because
Maybe.
there's been some leaked clips of it, and it
It's-
was bad.
It's awful. Yeah. Well, I never liked Ren and Stimpy much.
Oh,
anyway.
I loved Ren and Stimpy.
I've never been a Ren and Stimpy dude. I mean, I get the appeal, but it's one of those that's not for me.
As long as it's not a John K. If it's a post John K. episode, I'll watch it.
Sure. Yeah. It's good to ignore the John K stuff.
Yeah.
For many reasons.
There's a particular episode that's just like right after John K. where Ren decides he's going to become a hermit and lives in a cave in a mountain. That's my favorite.
Oh, really?
There's so many like weird, funny drawings in it, and like he befriends a bogman mummy
Oh, okay.
that like it becomes his like Wilson
Oh,
from
okay.
Castaway,
From Castaway.
but it's
okay.
a gross mummy who has a satchel on that has the word beer on it for some reason.
Weird. Okay. Huh. Yeah, I mean, to get back to your point, I don't think if it does see the light of day, I don't think it's going to be very good.
Yeah. The clip I saw was all the worst things about a show coming back on display. Like, here's Log again because you liked Log, and we've done nothing to examine it or push it further.
Or
It's
make a
just-
change or
it's just here again. Aren't you?
Hey,
Clap when you saw it.
Yeah, remember this thing? It's great that it's here. The member berries.
Yeah.
Yeah. But rolling all the way back to the SpongeBob stuff and this, Netflix, they've done a really good job with their other Nickelodeon direct to streaming movies, like the Rocko's Modern Life movie and the Invader Zim movie.
The Invader Zim movie's so good.
Yeah.
They're both really good.
They're both really, really good. So I have no reason to doubt the quality of this movie.
I don't know why Paramount Plus doesn't want it. or want these movies, they don't have anything else that I'll watch other than Star Trek.
It's got to be something where it was written into a contract before Paramount Plus was fully up and running.
Yeah.
And they're using this to write out a contract of like X amount of Nickelodeon things.
I don't know.
That would be my guess.
I don't know why I pay for Paramount Plus. I loved watching Strange New Worlds on it, but that's not on right now.
Yeah, it's a lot of
I did. What do people watch on there? Is that where like Yellowstone is or something? I don't know.
Beats me. I don't know. All right, so we have about just under 10 minutes left of
Beavis
the
and
show.
Butthead is on there.
Oh, yeah, Beavis
and that
and
is
Butthead.
getting a third season. I read the other day.
Oh, okay,
so
right on.
That's good.
Oh, good for them. But yeah, we have just a little bit of time left, so we're going to talk about Summer Games Fest. We watched all of it live from the comfort of our own office here. And
I wouldn't recommend
certainly don't watch it without our wonderful commentary that we did.
Yes, I would recommend that.
I would absolutely recommend that. A+ effort on both our parts, I'd like to think. But it was significantly longer than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, we thought we were going to kick out like a 30-minute,
40 minute,
yeah,
and that was going to be
presentation.
2 hours.
Yeah.
2 hours of games. Unlike the Game Awards, there was no fake awards being given to
there was no
anything.
pretense of it being anything other than an advertisement.
It was just Trailer Fest. And I'll be honest, a lot of the games were just this side of generic enough that I'm having a difficult time recalling them. Like,
Yeah.
I refuse to look up a list right now. I refuse. I'm just going to
That's
try
on
to
them.
go off.
They should make games interesting enough where we remember them.
Or cut the intro to Summer Games Fest into an hour and pull out the best ones to make them a little more memorable. And then maybe halfway through the fest, do another hour of like creator spotlights.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I mean, the best thing that I can remember was the Persona guys game, Metaphor,
That looks good.
which looks like Persona by way of Final Fantasy V.
Yeah. It looks like a really cool like job system thing with all the best parts of Persona.
Yeah,
The RPG
stylish
stuff.
menus and cool characters and
It seems very neat,
good
very stylish.
good animes.
Yes, it looks very, very good. I was excited for they announced a couple more characters for Street Fighter 6.
And they're not who you would expect at all.
No, not of M. Bison people were.
Well, yeah,
expecting.
that one. I was surprised. I was surprised he wasn't already in the game. To be
Yeah,
honest.
and he has a great new design. He looks almost like his body is starting to fall apart, kind of, because he's using an old clone body, and the energy within him is kind of breaking it apart almost. It's a really cool design. Elena from Third Strike and Street Fighter 4, I guess, but Third Strike is back. I love that character. Love the design.
That's a cool character.
I really like Elena. In Third Strike, she has the most animated stance animation of any fighting game.
And if
it's
you
like
if you
30
see
odd,
it,
yeah,
you will know that is true.
yeah, it's like 30-ish frames of animation just with her standing and kind of rocking back and forth because it's so fluid. It's pristine. It's amazing.
Yeah.
But the big ones are a couple of crossover characters from the SNK Final Fight series, Terry Bogard and Mai Shiranui, who are two of the biggest characters from the Capcom Street Fighter rival game.
It's like a WWE character showing up on WCW.
Yeah, kind of. Or yeah, it's like what if your favorite... Well, it's like when that time Steve Urkel showed up on Full House.
Yeah.
It's basically it.
Yeah.
Yeah, the popularity of both are through the roof, and they are two characters that you never thought you'd see together, except for Smash Brothers. They were in Smash
That's
Brothers
true.
together, but everyone was in Smash Brothers.
Everyone was there.
Everyone was there, except for Mai, because that game is for good boys and girls.
But Street Fighter 6, not so much.
Not so much. But yeah, I'm extremely excited for that. What's another game that you were looking
I was
forward?
glad I was here to witness your excitement for that.
Yeah, I think that was the loudest I peaked. I think I peaked the mic when that came on. Yeah. Yeah. So no, pick another game that we can talk about.
The sequel to Hyper Light Drifter looked cool. It was Hyper Light Breaker. And now it's like a third person melee combat game instead of a 2D
action RPG kind of thing. Yeah.
And the designs looked really solid. The environments were really cool.
Yes, looked very, very nice.
Yeah.
Stylistic.
It went from being a pixel graphic game that looked like one guy could have made it because one guy probably did, to this looks like a almost AAA situation.
Yeah, and but it doesn't lose any of the stylishness and the design identity of the previous game. It's really, really well done.
There was about 4 or 5 games that just looked like a Souls game that wasn't by FromSoft.
Yeah. Medieval Man runs around and hits things. Oh, the Scottish one.
That was cool. The Scottish Dynasty Warriors. Dynasty Warriors is coming back, apparently.
A little bit, yeah. Dynasty Warrior style game is where you are basically one character who just runs around a field with waves and waves of people coming at you, and you basically mash button to swing your sword or weapon.
This is one with like a Scottish theme, cartoony look that was really good.
I still bet it is a Robert the Bruce.
Like a Braveheart
or William Wallace.
That's William Wallace,
not Robert the Bruce. But yeah, William Wallace. And again, it was kind of in a cartoony-ish, exaggerated style.
And it was a roguelike too, which is an interesting twist on that the Muso genre.
Different, generated landscapes. Really interesting.
And permadeath probably. Roguelikes permadeath. Generally have permadeath.
Yeah. There is a 2D pixel Power Rangers beat 'em up.
Yeah, it looks like Hasbro saw the Shredder's Revenge Turtles game that came out last year and said, can we get one of those? What do we have that's kind of like that? Power Rangers, I guess.
And let's do it for cheaper because the pixel art is not to the standard of
it doesn't,
the Turtles one.
It doesn't look like Tribute is behind this one.
No, but this one does have some interesting other things like... I guess the best way to describe it is Mode 7 from the Super Nintendo, like the false 3D kind of animations and stuff. There's like elements
and
racing elements.
It looked like there were shooting gallery segments.
Zord fights look great.
Yeah, they looked like the giant robot fights in Mystical Ninja Goemon for the Nintendo 64.
Yeah, it really does. It looks like it is tying somewhat into the Power Rangers Once and Always Netflix special movie because Robo Rita is there. This is the original Mighty Morphin, which
if somebody who is in America is going to do something with Power Rangers, that's what it's going to be.
That's what the one. It's the most easily recognizable and
it's where the money is.
the most successful version of it. Were there better seasons? Yeah, probably. Are there better suits design? Most definitely. But those are the ones that people know. We are running out of time, so let's pick 1 or 2 more games. We're running really short on time here.
There was more Monster Hunter, but we talked about that last time.
We talked about that last week.
It was the same, and it looked the same.
It looks fine. It's Monster Hunter.
It's Monster Hunter.
Yeah.
There was nothing from Nintendo because why would they pay money to be part of this? They don't need to do that.
They don't need to do that. There's going to be a direct probably in a couple weeks.
I bet next week.
Yeah. So we'll have even more. But we'll be more excited about it.
And there's an Xbox thing on Sunday, and Xbox kind of like has to go big or go home with this. They've kind of not. They're not in the best position.
I have a feeling they're going to go home.
Yeah, probably.
As much as I like multiple game systems and having there be diversity in the game systems, I can really see Microsoft in the next 10 years going the way of Sega, where they become a publisher and license their IPs out to other, put them on other consoles and not make their own. Because I don't think they've made the money back on the new Xbox.
No.
And that was...
Or on Game Pass, unfortunately. Even though Game Pass is a terrific deal.
Yeah. Oh, it's
and
great.
I love it.
It's great, but yeah, it's still not a moneymaker.
It's not working for him.
Yeah.
It's just a shame because I have all of the systems, and the Xbox is honestly the one I use the most.
Yeah.
Just because it's more convenient. Their like OS like menu system is leagues better than the PlayStation one.
Because they make computer OSs.
Yeah.
They're computer people. The Xbox is basically a mini computer for your TV.
Yeah.
Anyway, we have hit time. There were plenty more games to talk about with the Games Fest, but maybe we'll talk about them next week, some of the standouts. So anyway, you've been listening to Nerd Overload. Thank you very much for tuning in. You can find us each and every day over at nerdoverload.com.
You can find us on just about any social media platform you can think of. Facebook, Instagram, Twitch. You can check us out on Patreon at links.nerdoverload.com.
Yep, they're all there. You can email the show, staff@nerdoverload.com. If you have any comments, questions, suggestions for the show, we're all ears. We'll take them.
If you want to do that, but with your voice, you can call us on the Nerd Overload hotline. The number for that's 419-561-5556. Leave us a voicemail, and we'll play it on the show.
That's right. You can find all the back episodes of the show on various podcast apps such as Apple Podcast, Spotify, Amazon Music, and our YouTube. Our YouTube is a going concern. People are checking it out over there, believe it or not.
And we'll have our live reactions to Summer Games Fest on there
Shortly, sometime in the next couple of days. It's going to be a little bit of a slog to edit, but we'll get it.
I did not think it was going to be as long as it was. Jeff, it was too long.
It was too long, bud. Finally, I'd like to thank Parker for helping us out over at the Facebook page and David Pencil for the use of our intro and outro. So again, thank you all for tuning in, and we will be back next week.
Wrap it up.